Increase your income and your cash flow by avoiding these 5 pricing strategy mistakes. Hi, I'm John from Carrollton Consulting, and in this video we are going to be talking about 5 pricing mistakes that are very common and could be sabotaging your revenue and your cash flow. If you enjoy this content, then hit like and subscribe to the channel for more great pricing, business strategy, and marketing tips. Mistake number 1 is that you are using a cost-based pricing model. What this means is that you are figuring out your break-even point based on all of your costs, then you are adding a markup to that, and that's what you're charging the customer. The challenge is this ignores the customer value perception of your service or your product. What you want to do is you want to figure out how the customer values your service, how much money you're making for them, essentially, and then you want to set a price between your break-even point that covers your costs and the value that you're providing to the client. And the chances are that when you set your price this way, it's going to be higher than whatever you were doing with your cost-plus pricing model. Mistake number 2 is focusing on the competitors too much or not focusing on the competitors enough. You want to make sure that you're aware of what they're doing, how your service differs from their service and what your value proposition is, as well as what they're charging, but you don't want to focus too much on following every little move they make in their pricing. If you do this, it can lead to price wars, which erodes the revenue for both you and for the competitor. Instead, you want to focus on making sure you have a strong value proposition behind your price, and that while you're in the same ballpark as the competitors, you're not going to bounce around in response to their small pricing changes. Mistake number 3 is not bundling services and upselling. When your customers come to you, they're coming to you as the expert in what your business does. Be the expert. If you know that they need hosting as well as their website redesign, don't be afraid to sell that service too. You're helping your clients out. Ultimately, what you want is a win-win for everyone. The client gets a ton of value out of your service, and they pay you for the time that you spend working with them. If you're not bundling and upselling, then A, you're missing out on revenue opportunity, and B, your clients are going to go somewhere else to find those services because they still need them, even if they're not buying them from you. Mistake number 4, static pricing in a dynamic market. What do we mean by that? Well, we mean that if your market is one where people are moving in, moving out, changing prices, there's new players, lots of things are happening, it might be very seasonal, you want to make sure that you're keeping a closer eye on what your competition is charging than you would be in some other marketplaces. And the reason for this is as those prices shift around, you want to make sure that your prices are staying in line with what the competition is charging. Otherwise, you're going to end up with either missed revenue opportunity if you price too low, or you're going to end up overcharging clients and finding that you're losing clients because they can go and get a comparable service somewhere else cheaper. This is particularly important if you're in a market that moves around a lot, has a lot of seasonal demand, or you're in a market where the barriers to entry are particularly low. So if anybody can come in quickly and begin to undercut your prices, you want to make sure that you do keep an eye on that competitive landscape and react accordingly if you see new players with new prices coming in. Mistake number 5. Mistake number 5 is one of the biggest ones we see, and we see this a lot with creatives, we see this a lot with freelancers, and that is undervaluing your services. You think you can only charge this much without losing customers, but customers are not as price sensitive as you think. People, businesses, they're going to pay for the right product. And if what you are delivering is the right product, people are not going to worry about a few dollars here and there. The chances are you're delivering enough value that you can push your rates higher, you can continue to keep the clients you have, and continue to pull in new clients at your new higher rate. Those are pricing mistakes that are really common. We see people basing their price on what it costs them to deliver a product or service. We see people who don't know who their competition is or who are so into watching their competition that they're almost not doing any other work. We see people miss the fact that they can bundle and upsell and not only make more money, but also better serve their clients. We see people who aren't watching the marketplace and miss new players coming in and new players moving out and the price shifting over time. And what we see the most is people undervaluing their own time, their own creativity, and their own experience when it comes to pricing their own services. If you want to increase your business revenue, avoid falling into one of those 5 pricing traps. Thanks for watching. I hope you find this content helpful. If you did, please hit the like or subscribe button. My name is John at carrolltonconsulting.com. If you have a pricing challenge that you are trying to work through and you think you need help, please do reach out. We'll set up a little bit of time to chat and see if that's something that we could help with. I look forward to talking with you next time.